Okay, so if you ever found yourself just, lost in a daydream, picturing that ultimate success, maybe it's landing that perfect job or finally launching your own business, or maybe mastering a skill, achieving some goal that just feels, well, kind of out of reach. We all do it, right? We spend time envisioning these amazing futures. But here's the thing, the really crucial question. What actually separates the people who just dream from the ones who actually do it? Today, we're doing a deep dive into some really powerful stuff from the modern monk, dreams to deeds. Think of this source as like this imaginary friend who just tells you the straight truth, no sugarcoating. Our mission today is to unpack that core message. How do you actually bridge that gap? Go from just having the dream to, making it real. We're going to explore what really makes the difference between the dreamers and the doers.
That's such a universal feeling, isn't it? Dreams are comforting. They're like the blueprint of what could be. But the real challenge, and this source really gets into it, isn't just dreaming it up. It's that huge space, often pretty intimidating, between the dream itself and actually executing it. We'll be looking at some really critical insights here about what truly sets apart those who don't just hope, but actually succeed.
Okay, let's get into it. So the modern monk starts off really blunt, really relatable. Says something like, everyone sees dreams, they're free.
Yeah.
And that's just so true. It doesn't matter what it is. Dream job, starting a company, becoming an actor, a singer, or even, tangible things like building your own house or getting that dream car. Someone's dreaming it. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
And honestly, just having the dream, well, that's the easy bit. Costs nothing. We can spend hours, days just building these perfect futures in our heads.
And that right there, that's often the first big hurdle. The source captures that feeling perfectly, that question we all ask ourselves, okay, how will all this happen? How am I actually going to achieve this? It starts as this nice little daydream, but it can quickly turn into a trap. The monk puts it bluntly. It feels very good to procrastinate, just sitting and thinking. And it does. All that thinking, planning, visualizing, it feels productive. You're making lists, vision boards, journaling. But paradoxically, it can lead straight to stagnation. Just nothing happening. It's like we get addicted to the idea of doing it instead of, the act of doing it. Our brains love that easy path, right? Planning feels safer than doing.
Right. And then the modern monk just throws down this challenge, asks you directly, if everyone's dreaming, what makes you different? Why should you get this success and not all the others dreaming the same thing? It really makes you stop and think, doesn't it? Because just having the dream, that doesn't make you special, not at all. It's the absolute baseline. So if you're not doing anything different from the millions of others out there with similar dreams, why would the outcome be any different for you? What makes your success, inevitable?
And this is where the source immediately reframes things. It shifts the focus from just dreaming versus doing in a really important way. What's interesting is the contrast it draws isn't simply about, doing work or even doing hard work as we normally think of it. The monk implies that, effort is needed, obviously, but that's not the ultimate differentiator. There's something else, something maybe more subtle, but way more powerful going on. It's not just about how much you work, it's about the kind of work and how you approach it.
Okay, so if it's not just about grinding away in the traditional sense, what is the real game changer according to the monk? This is where it gets super interesting. The core insight from the modern monk is this. The real difference is doing that work every day where there's no immediate result. Forget instant gratification. Forget those quick wins that give you a buzz right away. The key differentiator, the source says, is the difference is being consistent. That's it. It's all about that daily grind. The small stuff. The actions you take every single day, even when they feel pointless, even when nobody notices. Not the big flashy gestures. It's that quiet day in, day out commitment.
Absolutely. That idea of consistent effort without needing instant feedback, that's really the foundation of achieving anything significant in any field. The source puts it like this. The one who achieves something in life just worked every day, every night, every moment without waiting for results. Just think about that for a second. Picture a writer, right? Showing up every single morning, maybe for just an hour, even if the words aren't flowing, even if the book feels miles away, or a musician practicing scales for hours, knowing that hit song is just a distant possibility. At the start, there's nothing coming back at you. No applause, no reward. You're just putting in the time, on faith, really. You're fighting your brain's natural desire for that quick hit of dopamine, which just isn't there when the payoff is so far down the road. But then, slowly, maybe almost too small to notice at first, the monk says, one day a small reward emerged, making the doer feel, hey, I'm doing this right. It's not some huge breakthrough, it's rainy, a little validation. Maybe that writer finally nails a difficult sentence. Or the musician plays a tricky part perfectly, that little internal yes moment. That becomes the fuel. It kicks off this positive feedback loop inside your head, and that's when, as the source describes it, that consistency doubled, and now hard work no longer felt like hard work, now it became fun. It's this amazing shift, isn't it? From feeling like a chore to becoming something you actually enjoy. The process itself starts to be rewarding long before any big external success shows up. I mean, this lines up perfectly with what we know about habit formation. Small, consistent steps, validated by internal feedback, build real momentum.
And what happens eventually? After all that consistent, quiet effort, the person actually transforms. They become a story for millions of people. Think about that shift. You go from being just another person with a dream to being an inspiration. You're not just listening to their story or telling it to others anymore. You're not passively consuming someone else's success story. You are the story. Your persistence, your quiet consistency, it builds more than just a career or reaching a goal. It builds a whole narrative, a legacy almost, something that can genuinely impact other people. It's a fundamental change in who you are.
Which brings up a really good point. If the answer is essentially that simple consistency, why does it feel so incredibly hard in practice? The source even acknowledges this. It says, all this might sound very simple, and it is meant to be like that. The more you simplify things in life, the more easily you will fulfill your dreams. Okay, so if it is that simple, just show up, do the work daily, don't expect instant results. Why isn't everyone doing it? Why are we always looking for like complicated hacks or complex strategies? Maybe the simplicity itself is the scary part. Because it demands humble, consistent action, not fancy planning that lets us feel busy without actually doing anything. It kind of strips away all the excuses, doesn't it?
Exactly. And the monk hits that nail right on the head. It says, and if doing anything, achieving anything, was easy, then everyone would do it, right? It's so simple, but so profound. If success was just handed out like those free dreams we talked about, we'd all be living those perfect lives. But real achievement, actually changing things, that takes dedication. It takes being willing to push through the boredom, the discomfort, to embrace that unglamorous daily effort. It means finding satisfaction in the doing, not just waiting for the eventual outcome.
And that dedication, well, it has a cost. The source is clear about that. Effort is required. Days and nights must be given. Sacrifices must be made. Only then do you create a story that makes others' stories better. So it's not just about you getting what you want. It's bigger than that. Your own success, your story, it actually has the power to inspire others, to maybe make their journeys a little bit better. When you choose to show up day after day, even when you don't feel like it, even with no immediate reward, you're not just building your own dream, you're actually setting an example. You're showing people what's possible when you choose patience and persistence over that quick fix.
Okay, so what does it mean for you listening right now? The Modern Monk basically lays it out. So enough procrastination, vision boards, journal entries, plans. Now it's time to execute. No, he goes on. Now it's time to make things happen. Now it's time to be consistent with your goals. Look, planning is important. You need direction, but the source is crystal clear. Planning isn't enough. Execution is everything. The time for just thinking about it, that time is over. All that endless preparation, it can just become another way to avoid starting right. A comfy little bubble.
And that brings us straight to personal responsibility, which is huge. The source says, because no one will come to hold your hand and drop you near your goals. You have to walk there yourself. That really underlines it, doesn't it? This journey, it's fundamentally yours alone. You might have support, which is great, but the actual steps, the daily grind, the decision to keep putting one foot in front of the other, that's all on you. It's your walk. Nobody else can do the showing up part for you. No one can make those sacrifices for you. And realizing that, well, it might feel a bit heavy at first, but it's also incredibly freeing because it puts the power to change everything right back into your own hands.
It is your walk, and it's your life. The Modern Monk doesn't pull any punches about what's at stake here. It asks, this is your life. Decide how you want your next 5, 10, 20 years to be, in struggle and regret, or in peace and success. That's a direct challenge. It connects this whole idea of consistency, of action, directly to your future, your happiness, your well-being. The choice, when you boil it all down, is yours. You're going to keep just dreaming and planning, or you're ready to step into that arena of consistent, maybe unglamorous, but powerful action, knowing that's the only real path from dream to deed. So, as we start to wrap this up, just hold on to this core message of the Modern Monk. Those who don't create their own story remain characters in others' stories. Cool. You are not just a character, you're capable of creating a story. You're more than just a side character in someone else's narrative. You have the potential, right now, to be the main character of your own amazing story, to write something meaningful.
Yeah, and the final encouragement is just so powerful, so direct. Start that journey today. You're not late, you're perfectly on time. What's really great about that is how timeless it is. There's no perfect time that you've somehow missed. The perfect time to start. It's always right now, this moment. The past is gone, the future isn't here yet, but today, right now, you can act.
So here's a final thought to take with you. If you really decide to commit to this idea, to do what you always thought you will do, what's the absolute first, smallest, most consistent step you could take? Like today. Think about that tiny action. Something that doesn't need any immediate result. Something that might feel almost insignificant, but something that moves you just one tiny millimeter closer. Closer to becoming that incredible story you're capable of creating. What is it? Think about it, and then we'll go do it.